What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And this is one of those topics that is so nonsensical that I just can't lay off of it. So, the Catholic schoolboys from Kentucky, the ones that have been ran through the mud, attacked, and then the media still never really tapped out. They rather that you just break it instead of tapping out. I mean, arm all the way bent in the chicken wing, hearing it starting to crack, but they don't care. They're like, we're never going to admit that we're corrupt, and our job is to sabotage the president and paint false narratives regardless of who we have to destroy. So we're going to let you break it by giving these soft, passive responses to our shenanigans of blaming these boys for starting this whole problem. But in the midst of me reviewing this situation over and over again, I read all of the data that I didn't read it. I actually saw the footage of these Hebrew Israelites and the things that they were saying. And I'm not going to get into how it all transpired because Glenn Beck does a wonderful job breaking down the whole timeline to show exactly what really happened. But here's what gets me. In watching that timeline, it shows that the Hebrew Israelites were not only attacking the boys, but they were also attacking the Native Americans. They were calling them all types of names. They even altered the Uncle Tom name that they use for black people and start calling them Uncle Tomahawks. They were calling them animal worshipers and all different types of narratives, words rather, that fit this total anti-Native American, I guess, narrative. So why didn't the media go and stick a microphone in these men's faces? I'm sure they're still out there every day, standing right in that area, preaching that garbage, saying all the type of things that they were saying. Why haven't CNN or MSNBC decided that they're going to go out there and have a little chit chat with these men who cross the line in every area that the left claims is an atrocity? They said that the boys mocked and disrespected the Native American, right? Whereas these Hebrew Israelites called them so many names that two Native Americans came over to them and asked them to stop. And they waved them off. They called them Gad, which means a false god. I mean, they said some horrific things to this Native American crowd. But yet, after finding out all this information, they didn't want no parts of the liberal media, didn't want no parts of these Hebrew Israelites. They didn't go up to them and say, you're out here demonizing and disrespecting Native Americans. But then they direct their attention towards the boys. Now, I heard terms thrown out there as faggots. They were calling them all types of derogatory names that people on the right, if they say, you got to apologize immediately. You have to disavow. I mean, look at poor Kevin Hart. He talked about his sons not being gay years ago, and now they're chasing him around, making him apologize 15 times. But yet these men were saying straight up, they were calling these kids all types of racial slurs. All types. They were even calling black people the N-word. I mean, they were so degrading that I wanted to jump through the TV and just straight go, ho, 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 everybody was kung fu fighting. I want to just straight go off, violently talking to people, antagonizing them, saying things that will provoke such a drastic response. Almost got into a fight with a couple of the Native Americans and a black dude. And then called these boys every racial slur that you can think of. They cross every line when it came down to the left and all the things they find to be very sanctimonious. Like you can't say anything about gay people, can't say anything about racism, you can't call people the N-word, don't offend Native Americans, don't offend. They just blew through all of that. And not one peep out of the left. Nothing. I wonder why. Why is it that they won't attack those Hebrew Israelites like they were willing to attack these young white boys who simply had a red MAGA hat on? Maybe it's because those Hebrew Israelites don't fit their narrative of black people are all victims, and the only oppressors out there is white, straight, Christian men for the most part. That's the only real oppressors out there. Black people get a pass if they are racist, if they offend these Native Americans. Whatever they did could not be as bad as these white, straight, Christian men, boys, just standing their mind in their own business. Whatever they did could not be as bad as that. And you want to tell me that there isn't an agenda with the left and the media? You want to tell me that they're not fake news, that they can just, and their outcries are legitimate, full-blown outrages over nothing on this side, and just totally ignored all of everything they hold true, just trampled on by these Hebrew Israelites and said nothing about it. Didn't condemn them. They didn't say, let's go and have a talk with them and ask them, to disavow. Now I saw Fox talked about it. Jesse brought one of them on his show. Cat spew out some nonsense. But other than that, the people who created the whole narrative in the first place had nothing to say about all of those derogatory statements towards gay people, black people, all of that stuff. Nothing. Mums was the word. And it shows me that you're fake. Your whole cause is fake. You cherry pick who you want to attack and who you don't want to attack. It all revolves around who fits your fake, phony narratives that y'all been pushing out into society or not. All right? And that's my thought on it. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin's Corner. Check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30, live in Kevin's Corner. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, and don't forget to check me out on my radio blog talk show, which the link also is in the bottom. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. Put my name in the promo code. You get 20% discount. And finally, what is my final thought? Oh, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.